Train 877 extends service west to Harpers Ferry, Duffields, and Martinsburg stations. The staff and management of the MARC train service wish you and your family a safe and happy 4th of July holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are at the train station going to...
Harpers Ferry.
Oh, okay. I thought... Seems silly to just take the train in a circle. Okay, where are we really going?
Why don't you say?
Because I'm looking for an interaction with the characters I'm involved with in this journey. Kevin, you're a character.
We're going to DC.
Okay. And what's the idea? What are we doing here?
Waiting for the train.
Okay, what are we doing when we get into DC after we're done waiting for the train?
And what time is it?
6:32 a.m.
Okay, I guess I'll do it. So we're gonna go to the Smithsonian Museums. See, now it's like, I've seen that face before. It just gets uglier and uglier. Like, look at my hair. Like, I was looking for like somebody else to be like, yeah, we're going to the Smithsonian. You have to do it in that accent. You have to make it sound like that.
Okay.
We're going to the Smithsonian.
We're going to the Smithsonian today.
Are you guys saying Smithsonian or Smithsonian? It sounds like we're going to the museum.
A museum.
Powder.
Yeah, powder is definitely the last word. I can't. It doesn't really. It just gets blurry.
Oh, there we go.
So there's powder. Yeah.
M-E-I?
I wonder if it says chili powder, but why would that? No.
I don't know. Why would that be painted on a rock?
Yeah. Why would anything be painted on a rock? But
Well, we could see something about like Harpers Ferry.
it's hard to say. Like that first bit's like totally wiped out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Is it recording?
Yeah. Kevin, you can do it.
What?
You can do it.
Wait. Hold on tight.
Train.
Pay for this thing through my wallet someplace. Yep, we're good. Want me to phone up the train? Hey, this is here, like
normally the Friday only 1:30 departure from Union Station, will operate. Train 873 will operate through to Harpers Ferry, Duffields, and Martinsburg Station.
Looks like there's tents set up there.
Yeah, we can go by there. Boy Scout troop.
Maybe there's some hikers staying there.
Yeah.
Maybe camping on the lawn. Hey, what?
It's all their hiking.
Aha! Tennessee.
I should have brought a hat.
Yeah. I should have got a haircut. Alright, so we're leaving Harpers Ferry, and after taking 2 zeros and checking out the Appalachian Trail Conservancy Visitor Center and checking out the Washington, D.C. for a day, we're getting back on the trail and heading back out. Thing about Harpers Ferry and trying to do a DC day trip, it was very expensive. Very expensive. But there were a few shuttles and things like that that made things convenient, but ultimately I spent over $350 in the course of 2 days in Harpers Ferry. And the lesson we can learn from that is Harpers Ferry is a big tourist town. It's a historical town. It's a hiker town. It's a waterway town. There's river. So you get all these different people coming out for various reasons. And then you also get a little bit of traffic of people going in and out of DC. And because of that, it's pricey. Lodging is not cheap. Little local diners are outrageously priced. I paid $21 for a salad and a soda. It was a good salad and it was a good soda, but it was not in any way worth that. But Harpers Ferry is a very expensive place. We got to do a lot here. We really got to enjoy ourselves. But it costs me an arm and a leg. And I actually spent almost twice as much as I usually do on groceries and supplies, so I can kind of stay out in the woods a little bit longer to help save money. I think I'm going to pass the next few towns. I am meeting up with a friend within a state park within a day or two from here. I think we're just gonna have lunch and hang out though. That's as I enter Maryland. And but yeah, it's just be advised, it's very expensive, Harpers Ferry area. And if you want to stick around, you really have to watch your finances. I think this is the most expensive town I stayed at. Now, I stayed longer to do the DC trip, but the cheapest part of the trip was actually DC. So, yeah, just keep all of that in mind. But we're back out on the trail and ready for what's next. You know, we were in DC for maybe 11 hours or so. And maybe even less, I don't know. 10 or 11 hours, but we got there around 8. But none of the museums open till 10, and from 10 to about 4:45 or 5 o'clock. I guess that would be 7 hours. We got to see the Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, the White House where the president lives, and then we also got to check out the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. That one we stayed at for a couple of hours, but it became evident at that point that if we wanted to see the other museums in their entirety, then we were going to have to kind of run through them. And that's what we did through the American Indian Museum that is relatively new. It's only about 5 years old or so. And then we checked out the American History Museum. And then we got to get in, maybe for 20 or 30 minutes, we were in the Natural History Museum. I'm a little bummed I didn't get to see the dinosaurs, but I got to see a giant squid and a lot of taxidermied animals. It was kind of neat. Fossils, a few fossils. I did see a few marine dinosaurs in the ocean section. But overall, we had a pretty filled day. That was one thing. It was like, you can't do all the museums and the monuments in DC in one day, no matter how early you get up. But we did check out stuff. We didn't sit around a lot of the day in the heat. We were on the go. We were always looking at something, learning about something, and we made a full day out of yesterday. So even though we missed a few things, you can't ask for much more. That was definitely a change of pace from what we had been encountering. So DC was a good trip, and it was good that Bandit got some good rest. We are at Harper Cemetery, the founder of Harpers Ferry. The guy who settled this area put this cemetery on his estate, and there's a good chance that some of these gravestones actually predate the Revolutionary War. Maybe not all of them. It seems like a lot of them are from the 1800s and late 1700s. Harper himself died in 1782. So a lot of these were post-war era and during the Revolutionary War, I'm sure. But there might be a few out there that are actually, that might have been here prior to this great nation becoming its own nation. There might be some colonial era gravestones out here. But we're getting back on the trail. We just came up here to check out the site. We're not going to wander through a whole bunch of these. Let's look at a few here. It says 1830 on it. And some of these are difficult to read. That one says 1849, August 19th. Wow. And from 1917, so it's 1848. I'm sure a lot of these are almost completely buried there. Bandit, come here. Come here, buddy. Yeah, I can't read some of these. They're just, the words are eroded away completely. But in addition to the Harpers family being out here, there's plenty of Irish and German immigrants that were buried out here as well. So it kind of extended beyond the family. This is right off the trail. Go up a little flight of stairs just after the point where you get off to go to the conservancy. And there's a few markers on these trails. We are within the national park, and there's definitely a lot of history right off the AT. Somebody's playing Yankee Doodle. No way. Where'd they go? On your right comes up the Shenandoah, having ranged along the foot of the mountain 100 miles to seek a vent. On your left approaches the Potomac, in quest of a passage also. In the moment of their junction they rush together against the mountain, rend it asunder and pass off to the sea. This scene is worth a voyage across the Atlantic. Those are words by Thomas Jefferson describing the view from Jefferson Rock just over there. In 1783 he said this at Harpers Ferry. Now in 1860 the U.S. Armory superintendent put these red sandstone blocks underneath the rock because it was a risk for the people living on the properties below. The guy was afraid that the rock would topple over and crush some houses. Let's go check out Jefferson's Rock. There's the Shenandoah River. There's the Potomac. 1836. All right, we're in historic Harpers Ferry. This building in front of us is the John Brown Fort. It was constructed in 1848. It's been vandalized, dismantled, and moved 4 times. Just because it was the famous John Brown stronghold. And over here we have the rest of historic Harpers Ferry. There's an outfitter store down there, lots of little souvenir shops and diners, but a lot of these buildings have been around for quite some time. A lot of old churches and buildings. So, very neat. Sorry. Check out these normal sized turtles, and then how big this guy is. It's a monster.
I told you, Clarence, it would be a bad idea to go to a public swimming pool. I'll give it a risk, Johnny.
Now I am staring at a true behemoth of a turtle right now, and I can't quite tell what kind of turtle it is. I think that is a snapping turtle. Can't quite find the ridges on its back because it's covered in that plant material, but I think it does have ridges along its back. That's a pretty big snapping turtle. It's bigger around in the middle than a basketball. These ducks are swimming right towards it. I think something bit at them. Dude, check out the sun. It's like hot pink. There's such a weird coloration for the sun. Is that the sun? I don't even know. I gotta get over there.